Hi, it's Kirsty here, and I'm going to talk you through how you can live a life that you love in a body that allows you to do that. So at the moment, you may feel as though you are holding a lot. You might be running a business, you might be fully fledged in your career, you may be managing children, seeing teenagers head off to university. You might also be looking after parents. We have a lot on our plate, ladies, and from the outside it may look as though you have everything handled. To the outside world it might even look pretty polished. You have a nice family, a nice life, you go your holidays, and actually you may even be looking after aspects of your health just now. But inside you have this feeling that you are running on empty. You may be exhausted trying to get it all done, or actually you're achieving quite a lot but you still don't feel content. And if someone said to you, if I said to you now, do you feel as though you've got more to give? Do you feel as though you're playing small? Do you feel as though you are following your heart desires? Do you have a body that you can stand in and be proud and feel strong and sexy and wear everything you like that's a full expression of you? Would you be able to answer that with a yes? And if you're completely honest, you can't remember the last time you felt strong, sexy and fully energised. There may be even a part of you that knows exactly what to do, as most of us women do, but actually finding it hard to show up and do it, to know what's right for your body now, to have support in doing that. Or actually you may no longer recognise who it is that's looking back in the mirror, not just physically, but because you've taken on responsibility for so many things and so many people in your life, you have lost a little bit of that. So overall, if I was to say to you, do you feel as though you are living a life to your maximum capacity? Are you still playing small? Are you still negotiating with yourself when it comes to achieving the things that you really want to achieve? And that story ends now. It ends here, and it's exactly why I have created the Reignite Collective. And this isn't theory. We've helped Lisa Maria going from feeling stuck in her body, lacking in confidence, had lost joy in life, to actually still managing her high level management career, more time for herself, training, improved body composition, dressing like a full expression of her personality, walking into rooms and absolutely owning them. We've helped Angela, who'd struggled with chronic health conditions for 8-9 years, do 2 solo treks from Spain into Portugal of 170 kilometres because her health, fitness and confidence has got to such a great place. We've helped Emma stop playing small and step into a community of women that have helped her go from strength to strength in so many areas of her life. Fiona, an ex-pharmacist, now a high-level management position in the pharmaceutical industry. She thought she was fit, she thought she knew what to eat for a midlife body, and she has actually achieved a personal best in a 10k faster than she did 15 years ago. She has muscles she never thought would be possible, and she has now been invited to step into the American market in her job, because when this woman walks into a room, she owns her power, she doesn't make excuses for herself, and that is just 4 women out of hundreds of women we have helped. This work works, but before I show you how, I want to explain why this is so potent to me. It's because it was me. I have been the career professional also in the pharmaceutical industry. I did a postgrad in teaching while my children were small, again trying to be everything to everybody. I trained as a personal trainer first and foremost. On the outside, it looked as though I was fit, thriving, running a successful business, happily married, there for my kids, but actually really started to struggle. The perimenopause hit me hard around 44, and the fatigue was absolutely indescribable. I literally could have crawled into any bed that I seen, even in the middle of a display showroom. I stood in my kitchen one day and I thought, something has to change. I was just functioning to get through the days. I wasn't willing to accept that this was it, that there was no going back, that this is what happened at midlife, that we were exhausted, that we actually started to see our shape change, that there was a level of discontent, that we were supposed to be chasing our own dreams, but also making sure everyone else was supported in theirs. At first I tried to train more, and that just left me even more exhausted. But the pressure I was putting myself to stay in a certain shape drove that forward for a little bit longer, to the point where my sleep started to be really disturbed. I knew something has to change. I needed a smarter way to approach this new body that I was in, because that's what the menopausal body is. It's a new body for you. And some of the advice that we're giving out there is relatively reasonable. Some of us are actually eating more than our body needs, because who doesn't want to sit down at the end of a long hard day and do a little bit of comfort eating because we deserve it, right? We don't always prioritise exercise when we're feeling that way because it's hard. Sleep's disturbed, the last thing you want to do is get up and go to the gym in the morning. However, you know, to have the body that we want, that's going to be a crucial part of it. So there is good advice out there, but there's also an array of really diabolical advice, like cut out all carbs, or you must be fasting, or don't do any cardio. And the truth is that one size just doesn't fit all. Cookie cutter plans are really difficult for midlife women. And any 1 week, I could have a lady having a full rest and recovery week where all she's doing is some walks without her phone to really get that kind of central nervous system calmed. I could have a woman that's doing her 4 strength sessions plus a couple of sprint intervals, which, don't worry, doesn't necessarily mean running, but that's how she's actually feeling on top of her game. I could have a lady that's struggling with sleep in any one given week. The point I'm trying to make is that I have a relationship with my ladies that I know exactly the steps to take them on to help them move forward. And it isn't always grind. You following someone else's health, nutrition and wellbeing plan is a bit like putting on glasses, spectacles that are the wrong prescription for you. Everything's going to be a little bit fuzzy. There's also a lot of ladies when they first come to me that their hormones are definitely not optimised, and as much as lifestyle practices play a huge role in helping with that, we do also have support within the programme to educate you and equip you with the right information for taking to your medical professional, and also amazing women that are menopause specialists that we can refer you onto to get your hormones exactly where they need to be. What I believe is that your health should be the foundation for all of your life. It's not something that we add on as an extra. I get asked a lot where I get my boundless energy from, and people don't just mean my physical energy, they mean the fact that I'm vibing high a lot. I would not be able to give off that vibration. I would not be able to carry that energy and hold so many women, as well as everything else I do in my life, if my physical health was not in a great place. It is the crux of everything. For me to vibe high, I've got to be feeling good in my physical body. Your physical body is what holds it all, even your central nervous system, the neurological connections, the way we think is all held within that physical body. Every single woman that's worked with me has wanted to feel fitter, feel stronger, feel sexier, feel more energised, has wanted to be proud of what their body can do, has wanted to stop making excuses for themselves, has wanted to step into a room, no matter what room it is, and feel as though they belong. To not feel bad when they look in the mirror, but feel proud of the woman that's staring back at them. To not feel guilty having to start on a Monday every single week. And you deserve a body and a programme that's for the lady that you are. There are actually a few simple reasons that account for why you're stuck and why you're not moving to where you want to be. Everything from you are actually still running on systems that you used when you were 25, like cutting out carbs for a couple of weeks. You know, that would have taken a few pounds off as we'd have been ready to go the summer holidays. And it just isn't cutting it anymore. You may have enjoyed your yoga, a spin class and a walk to keep you in shape, and that's no longer cutting it because it's not what makes the midlife body thrive. It may be consistency that's letting you down, so you stick to things for a couple of weeks and then life throws you another curveball. Guess what, ladies? Life's always going to throw these curveballs and it throws you completely off track and you feel as though you've got to start again. If you've been following a generic plan, this could be another reason you're stuck. Often saying just train more, lift heavier, cut your calories. It may work. However, if you're managing a lot, stress is high, what is going to happen is you're going to lead to burn out faster. So again, that cookie cutter plan ain't cutting it. So what do you actually need? I truly believe you need an identity reconstruction. It sounds as though it's a phrase, maybe one you've not heard before. Maybe you're thinking, what's this now? Actually, the minute you start showing up as a woman you want to become, that's when everything changes. And that's how I've managed to get great results with clients for years. It's how an ambitious woman like yourself manages to get strong, healthy, fit, well, energized. It's not just a number in the scales, it's energy, your body, your confidence become so high that you no longer know what it feels like to play small. You're actually leading your own life instead of managing everyone else's. And there are three main parts to it. The first part of it is the awakening. So we clear up your training and nutrition and we get a plan in place that fits around your life. We get super clear on what it is you actually want, because quite often it's what you think you should want rather than what those core desires actually look like. This is exactly what we did with my client Steph. She's actually an accredited menopause coach herself. She knew the way she should be eating, she knew she should be lifting some weights, but the approach wasn't tailored exactly to her. We cleaned up her nutrition, not in a restrictive manner, but in a way that supported her life and her exercise. We improved the standard of her training. And what I mean by that is we held her to higher standards, higher expectations. She wasn't training more, she was just training better. We seen her body composition start to change. Steph actually wasn't overweight, but 3 kilograms dropped as she lost body fat. And she has actually laid down lots of new muscle as well. As a result, she's actually not playing small in any areas of her life. She wanted to work on health and longevity, but by creating a body she loves it now and feels proud in now, that longevity piece is inevitable. I truly believe that we're talking about feeling great when we're 80 because we're hiding from the fact that we should be allowed to say we want to look good now. And already in this first phase, we're doing the work in identity. I am taking you on a specific process that looks exactly where you are now, where you want to be, and actually realising that your future self is all around you now. She's not somewhere off in the distance. Stage 2 is the reconstruction. At this point, your training nutrition has got to a stage where your body is starting to look and feel different. I am taking you on a specific process that looks exactly where you are now, where you want to be, and actually realising that your future self is all around you now. She's not somewhere off in the distance. Stage 2 is the reconstruction. At this point, your training nutrition has got to a stage where your body is starting to look and feel different. If fat loss is one of your goals, you can expect by this point to have dropped a dress size. We use the word boundaries a lot when we're talking about midlife, but what that looks like in day-to-day terms is you saying yes instead of no to too many people. Watch that all change as we take you on a process of what your future self would accept and not accept. Jackie has worked with me for a while now. As a result of cleaning up these energy leaks, these boundaries, she has actually managed to say no to employers for extra hours, no to people that are demanding more of her in the family, and she does it without guilt at all. As your body, as your energy, as your fitness all improve, there is of course going to be the amazing ripple effects that we get as these things happen. However, a beautiful thing happens within this reconstruction phase of, even if you're not at your end physical goal yet, you are showing up like you said you were going to. You're keeping promises to yourself. And my client Nicola, who's actually lost 30 kilos now over a long period of time, feels amazing in her body, but she says nothing will ever beat the feeling of being a woman who keeps promises to herself, who doesn't let herself down, who looks in the mirror and says, I'm obsessed with you because you are so darn proud of everything you have done for that lady in front of you. The aesthetics are great, but it's so much more than that. Because that best version of you, she doesn't let herself down. She doesn't say yes when she means no. She belongs in every room, feeling great, looking great, excited about everything that's to come. And part 3 is the arrival. This is where it's just who you are. There's no longer trying. You've achieved. My client Leslie's actually lost 22 kilograms working with me, and her goal from the beginning was always about fat loss. Leslie is still not at her final goal, and she's okay with that because it's coming. She doesn't have to think about her workouts. She doesn't have to think about her food. She doesn't have to think about what she's wearing anymore. She knows who she is. And she only just told me this week she walked into the most luxurious setting for a spa day she'd been gifted, and she carried herself tall, proud, elegant, and taking up every bit of space in an environment that maybe in the past would have left her feeling uncomfortable. But she's a lady now who has been put into one of my amazing communities, a room of women where the standards are high, where you can't fail, where you show up for yourself and repeat, not perfectly, but consistently, where the good days hugely outnumber the bad. I see this in my ladies on repeat. When I read client check-ins, I have to pinch myself sometimes at the women they are becoming. And every one of them says they thought they wanted to get back to the woman they used to be. And the woman that they have created is actually way better. Not because she looks younger, not because she's in better shape, but for lots of them, including me, that is the case. But because she is a woman who will not negotiate. I keep using that phrase, but it's so true. I was negotiating with myself, staying in a marriage that didn't feel right. It wasn't bad, but something wasn't right. I was negotiating with myself when I was pushing through hard workouts, even though I was exhausted. I was negotiating with myself, staying in a teaching role, because I thought it suited the family. When you start this process, this identity level change, the world is literally your oyster. We stop seeing the world through logical goals. We see them as this exponential place where we can achieve absolutely anything, and to do it in a room of other absolutely powerhouse women is something that actually myself and my ladies find really, really difficult to put into words. Now, you may be still sitting there at this point thinking, but will this work for me? I've actually had lots of ladies who thought the same, that started before they were ready. And in Emma's words in her video testimonial she did for me, which I'm sure you'll have seen, is that these rooms are the rooms that get you ready. They get you ready to step into your next level, because waiting is never, ever going to get you ready or get you closer to that woman that you want to become. Steph was the same. As an accredited coach herself, she just thought, I'll carry on my own, I'll plod on, I'll get there eventually. And it wasn't until she stepped into my reignite space and how quickly things changed, she realised she'd been playing so small. We were different women, different lives, different starting points, but still the same shifts. They stopped playing small, they stopped negotiating, they became the women who lead their lives rather than managing everyone else's. So if you are that woman who is achieving in lots of areas of her life, but know that her body and her confidence are holding her back in one way or another, you know they're not where they should be. And actually the outside world doesn't even know how you feel when you look in the mirror. But it's a deep knowing that it's not where it could be. If that is you, then your next step is simple. Apply for the Reignite Collective. On that call, we'll look at where you are now, and we'll map out a clear strategy for you to get exactly where you want to be, that's built around your life and your body now. At the end of that call, one of two things will happen. We'll see a great opportunity to work together in the Reignite Collective, or you'll leave with a plan where you are really clear in your next few steps to take on your own. Either way, you will be in a better off position than you were before the call. We only take on a small group of women because the work we do is hands-on, it's bespoke, and it requires a great amount of attention. This is for the woman that has built something real in her life but knows that she's playing small and not into the true potential that is waiting for her. The woman who wants her energy, her confidence and her body back, and maybe even better than before. The woman who's done being a muted version of herself, because that isn't the standards we hold in here. Click the button to apply for the Reignite Collective. We need to stop this game of just surviving and really go from strength to strength and create a future that you can be really excited about again in a body that you absolutely love.